Welcome. Good morning. I'm 5 minutes late today. Can't believe it. Didn't mean to be late. With that water offset here. Welcome. I'm your host, the Bit Boy. Today we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I tell you, it has definitely been a very, I'll just say, interesting day for me when I looked this morning at the internet to see what was going on. Because it's really interesting that it's really interesting. I had a hard time finding news today, and that's something that's very rarely happens. It usually, no, don't want that one. Usually, when I go to collect my news and look at everything in the morning, it's usually pretty easy to do. This morning, it was not. I had to go looking for stuff. So take that for what it's worth. I'm trying to figure out here how to get my share screen up. There it is. Okay. Share. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So basically, today, we're going to be looking at some very encouraging numbers for Bitcoin. I happen to have a long open right now. I feel like we could be on a bit of a breakout. There was some volume. We'll take a look at that, when we get to the chart section of the show. But let's start off here at CoinGecko. See what number. See, the market's up 1%. Okay, cool. The volume is pretty healthy at 133.4 billion. Bitcoin dominance, 56.3%. The ETH dominance dropped a good bit. I mean, Bitcoin must have outperformed Ethereum for a little bit here. And then I don't even know why they put the GUI anymore, to be honest with you, but it is what it is. So head on down. We take a look at some of the coins that are doing pretty good. Neon, that's one of our top coins of the year from last year. I don't know how it did last year by the end, but I know it is a good project, and you can tell because it's going up now. Look, World Liberty Financial made the list of trending coins. Interesting stuff here. So we got Bitcoin coming in at, I don't think that's right, $112,000 and $112,188. It's always hard to say all those numbers, isn't it? So good morning, everybody. It's about 1.1%. Ethereum is up 3.6%. When you look at the 7-day, Bitcoin barely up and Ethereum down 2.8%, then that makes sense why Bitcoin has been gaining against Ethereum dominance. So we got XRP coming in at 287, and it's down 6% right now. But XRP, really, there hasn't been a lot of news on it lately. Have to dig for some of that sometimes too. We got Binance Coin, and then we got Solana doing well. We're actually going to talk about why Solana is doing well. It's up 27%. It's because they just had an upgrade, and you know what? Let's just look at it right now. Solana is set for a major speed boost via Alpenglow upgrade. Alpenglow. Here's what to expect. Alpenglow. Well, I don't know how you can pronounce how you want to pronounce it. Solana gearing up for major improvements after validators passed a proposal on Tuesday. A proposal is called a SMID. I learned that today. I didn't know what that was. It's a Solana improvement protocol or Solana improvement proposal. So Solana is about to get a lot faster. Validators for the L1 chain voted 98% in favor of SIMD 0236. Makes you feel like we're in a simulation. This is the new consensus protocol conceived by the research team at Solana research and development firm Anza. Biggest difference users feel right away will be a reduction in confirmation latency to approximately 150 to 200 ms. That'd be milliseconds. That is Anza lead economist Mac Resnick. So here we go. Barely 1% of the people voted no. So 52% of state cast a vote. So that's pretty good. Over half the people did vote. What are U.S. voter presidential election turnout by year? Let's see how many people turn out here. Where's the chart? Here it is. Okay. Yeah, less than about 50%, 60%, somewhere between 50 and 60%. So you can see right here the percents, not nearly as high as, or a little bit higher, I guess, in some cases. And the SMID was approved by. That was a nice sidebar just for me, in my personal knowledge. I wanted to know that. Okay, Alpenglow was introduced in May. It's going to reconfigure their existing consensus protocol, put the network on par with centralized infrastructure used in traditional finance. And if you paid any attention to when SWE was really pumping and we were talking about SWE a lot, a lot of their argument was they're better than Solana. And, I think that they are. But the fact is, Solana knew it had to do something. And this is where it's really interesting. We had this discussion about this Cardano upgrade. And we talked about it. The Leos. That's it, Leos. And some of the community was upset because they were saying, like, what kind of trade-offs are we going to have to do to make it faster? If we make it faster, then is that going to mess up the security or the decentralization? And they said it shouldn't do that. But that's basically what Solana is doing. Solana is making trade-offs and making it faster that way. Crypto is really rounding out here to, a place where we see now that the institutions are going to be the major players of these tools. It's not you and me. The miners still have the miner game as well. I guess it's really a corporate game now. And we get pushed further as just regular investors and people who pay attention to this. We get pushed to the fringes as the corporate and the enterprise and the institutions come together to really come up with how to use these cryptocurrency products, these blockchains, how to use them the best to make money. And if we just follow around with what the institutions are doing, then we should be, set up pretty well. So here's what I did today. I actually went to Cointelegraph. I hardly ever go here. Find out what's happening in crypto today. We got this article here. DeFi, and this takes away another article I had, and this is on Cointelegraph. They have individual articles for this one right here, but no reason to read that. We got it right here, all nice, spiffy, and compressed. And this really hammers home what I've been saying about Ethereum, guys. Ethereum is going to be very hard to buy in the future. If you can't afford it where it is now, man, there's no telling how high this thing's going to go. Now that it has a reason to be going up. DeFi lending rises 72% on institutional interest, RWA collateral adoption, and ETH has the most opportunities for this institutional interest to go. Decentralized lending protocols are experiencing a major upswing with TVL rising sharply amid growing demand for stablecoins and tokenized assets. We got something from China and stablecoins possibly brewing. We'll let you know about that here in a little bit. These protocols, which use smart contracts to enable peer-to-peer lending and borrowing without banks or intermediaries, have become one of the fastest growing segments of decentralized finance. How can ETH go down significantly and not pump eventually, as this is all the news? A lot of times we'll see Ethereum make, lagged moves where stuff happens and people get excited about it, but the move up comes a little bit later. And I think that's what we're going to see. I'm not buying into it. I think we are at least going to have one more leg to this bull run. I said I thought $125,000 would be the top. And maybe Bitcoin gets back there and hovers around that amount and the altcoins take over. And Ethereum really, really pumps. That is, possible as well. But these articles I've been reading the last few days, and some of my own analysis, I think have really shown me that I think we really do have one more leg up. I think Bitcoin really probably will get to $140,000. And Ethereum is going to get, I'm not going to tell you where I think Ethereum is going to get. We got Tom Lee saying $12,000. We got Joseph Lubin saying 100x from here, which would mean we would need a few of those 100x's here very soon. I mean, just think about what 100x would be on the market cap. On the market cap of Ethereum, what that would be. The market cap of Ethereum is 538. So billion. So what would that make it? A quadrillion, 500 times that? Is that right? No, I don't think so. That math is way too high for me to try to figure out. 538 I mean, you know what, guys, we could just get the handy dandy calculator and we could plug it in here and just see. We're going to get rid of 9 zeros and just say 538 times 100 would be this. And then we have to add 9 zeros to this. So that's 9. $54 trillion. $54 trillion. And I know that sounds asinine, right? Like the Ethereum market cap would be $53 trillion. But we explained yesterday, and we talked about a good bit of the time, how institutional DeFi is really a lot of borrowing and collateralization and lending fake numbers, because there is at least 2, maybe 4 times as much fake money in the world as there is real money. That's the derivatives, the nature of derivatives. So if it 100x's, God forbid, what Bitcoin would do. But if we did that same math and we see a Bitcoin were to 100x from here, what that would be. 2230 times 100. You guys are going to love this number. So we add 9 zeros. So then that would be the billion. $223 trillion in market cap for Bitcoin. Are y'all feeling that? Okay. So anyways, that's what this is talking about. TVL going up, institutions using Ethereum mostly. A lot of these RWA chains are built on Ethereum. So Binance Research attributes the momentum to accelerating institutional adoption. And guys, they're all coming here. This is where they're coming to die. And by die, I mean once they get in crypto, they'll be in crypto for good. Yield chasing ETH treasury firms are most at risk. Ooh, Sharplink Gaming CEO. Now, Joseph Lubin is the chairman of the board, I believe, of Sharplink Gaming. Co-CEO Joseph Chalom said on Monday that companies that buy and hold Ether and try to squeeze the most yield out of their holdings will be significantly more at risk if the market declines. There will be people just like in traditional finance who want to get that last 100 basis points of yield, and I think that is riskless. He added there are ways to achieve double-digit yields on ETH, but they come with a host of risks, and those who are far behind are going to take risks I don't think are prudent. So Sharplink Gaming is the second largest public holder of ETH. Now let's look at what this is. One of the first NASDAQ-listed companies to develop a treasury strategy centered on ETH. Let me go to their About Us page. It gives you a little more information here. Sharplink is one of the first NASDAQ-listed companies to develop a treasury strategy centered on ETH, which will serve as Sharplink's primary treasury reserve asset. This is similar to MicroStrategy. In adopting its new treasury policy, Sharplink intends to provide investors with economic exposure to ETH and to advocate for its role as digital capital. Sharplink is also a trusted marketing partner to leading sports books in the gambling world and online casino gaming operators everywhere through its iGaming affiliate marketing network known as PAS.net. PAS.net. That's what a fisherman would say when he got, a really, really big one and he needs a little help. He turns around to his buddy and he says, PAS.net. I'm really sorry about that one, guys. I'm really sorry. Sharplink focuses on driving qualified traffic and player acquisitions, retention, and conversions to U.S. regulated and global iGaming operator partners worldwide. In addition, Sharplink owns and operates a portfolio of direct-to-player state-specific affiliate marketing websites. I'm sorry, pardon my yawn there. Designed to attract, acquire, and drive local sports betting and online casino gaming to its value partners, which are licensed to operate in each respective state. So you see they're in that world. That's who Sharplink Gaming is. Check out they have some of their ETH numbers here. Shows the ETH price, shows what the bet price is. This is a stock. You invest in this like you would invest in MSTR, if you know what that is, which is MicroStrategy, if you didn't know. Let's see. And this shows their total ETH holdings. Look at their ETH holdings. They're just like Michael Saylor was doing back in the day with Bitcoin. look, and you see total ETH holdings is going up as well, 837,000, more than that. Ethereum shows the average price paid per ETH, 3,600, and the price right now, of course, 4,473. So there you go. They got staking rewards. That's, look, the staking rewards. Oh, really sorry. It's really interesting to me. They've got so much money staked that they've earned 2,318 ETH just for holding Ethereum. Seems like a pretty good strategy to me. So, and then of course, they've got investor information. They're under the ticker SBET, or as I like to call it, SBET. Don't you like that better? SBET? SBET. SBET. Obviously, SBET is a better way to say that, obviously. SBET sounds like you're going to spat on someone. See with a Russian accent that works. What's that, a Russian accent? I'm not sure. You want to get some emails from them? You can do it right there. Okay, so that's one thing that's going on, is that the CEO is saying risks could, what do you say about risk? He thinks, a lot of people think that traditional finance, to get that last 100 basis points of yield, and think that it is riskless. But there are some risks on it. Yeah, there are ways to achieve double-digit yields on ETH, but they come with a host of risks. Those who are far behind are going to take risks that I don't think are prudent. And that's basically what they're saying here is, y'all stay out of our front yard. There's a lot of risks with this strategy of doing treasury with ETH, but we've got it handled. But Shalom said the crypto treasury space could be tainted by people that do imprudent things, such as how they go about raising capital or differentiating themselves in the yield, that they derive from their ETH holdings. If you overbuild and there's a downturn, how do you make sure your cost structure is in a way that you build to the highest price of Ethereum, he said. He thinks e-treasury companies are almost infinitely scalable. We go back to that 100x Ethereum. We go back to the $5.3 trillion, $53 trillion 100x ETH. $53 trillion. Oh, guys, put that into perspective. I think that maybe the real estate market is like, that would make Bitcoin at Bitcoin 100x from here. That would make Bitcoin basically by itself more real money than any other thing. I think real estate, they estimate maybe it's 100 to 200 trillion dollars. The stock market's like $85 trillion or something the last time I looked. We used to have little memes that we floated around crypto Twitter that had all this information on it. Can't recall it exactly. But that infinitely scalable, it definitely supports what Joseph Lubin was saying. So I thought, didn't it? I thought it had something that showed that chairman of the board here. Where's the chairman of the board? Anyways, I think Joseph Lubin is the chairman of the board here of Sharplink, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong on that. So guys, here's what I did. We've already talked about Solana too. What I did is I went to that story, and I really went around digging for. Well, actually, pardon me. We got one more story. U.S. regulators clarify rules for spot crypto trading. Today, the divisions provide their view that DCMs, FBOTs, and NSEs are not prohibited from facilitating the trading of certain spot crypto asset products. Market participants are invited to engage with the SEC or CFTC staff. Basically, the agencies clarified the existing law does not prevent regulated U.S. or foreign exchanges, such as national securities exchanges, designated contract markets, and foreign boards of trades, or FBOTs. We'll leave that alone. From listing spot crypto products, including those with leverage and margin features. So there should be no problem in the United States trading with some of these, as long as it hits certain parameters. But it doesn't say anything that's unregulated. It says regulated U.S. or foreign exchanges. So there you go. There you have it. Man, we'll see what's going on over here when we get to the charts. We're going to get the charts here pretty soon. But what I did, actually, we're not. We're going to spend a lot of time on this article. 10 minutes probably. So I was trying to find like what is an article that, maybe Crypto Panic isn't saying is important, but that, is good information for my audience. For the Bitcoin. Bitcoin set to beat red September dip for third straight year. Red September is Bitcoin's worst month, but rate cut hopes and institutional momentum could extend its winning streak. And I think there is almost no chance that if we get a rate cut, that's going to be bearish, at least in the shorter term, at least for the rest of this year. And that meeting, we'll look at that meeting coming up on the 16th and the 17th. I mean, we'll get the information probably on the 18th, I guess. I don't know. Can't remember how exactly that goes. But this is a 2-day, one of the 2-day ones, which they may all be 2 days. But I think there's like a 1 day in there somewhere, but I digress. So Bitcoin snapped a 3-year streak of negative summer returns, and now it enters its worst month, which is always known as Red September. It carries the dreaded nickname. This comes from equities. Equity is basically the long and short of it is in almost everything, September is a red month because it's the last day of quarter or the last month of quarter 3. What businesses do with their budgets, the government does as well, is they really gear these to really take off in quarter 4. Quarter 4, they rebalance budgets and they go out and they spend as much money as they can possibly spend to make sure that they use all their budget for the month or for the quarter because, actually for the year, it's for the year. Because I don't know the way corporations work in this respect, but I do know the way the government works in this respect is if they don't spend every dollar of their budget, you wonder why we're broke in the U.S. as a nation. If they don't spend every dollar that they can, then they're not going to get increased budget for the next year, and they all want that increased budget for the year. But if you look back across 12 years from 2013, there was 2 major China crypto bans in 2017 and 2021. So the record is weighing with 6 consecutive years of losses from 2017 to 2022. Tables turned in 2023. And Bitcoin has now posted 2 straight September gains. So you can look here and you can see this is from equities here, I believe. Yeah, this is from equities, and this shows kind of the same thing, that this is down. And then they rebalance. So each of these is smooth, is close. The gloom doesn't last, though. We all usually get October after that. Here's Bitcoin monthly returns. You can tell just ever since it began. Look at all that green, so much green. And you look, and we've got green. I think what we said was every time we get a green September, every time we have had a green September, we get a green October and a green November. So that's something interesting to look at. And December sometimes retraces, sometimes it doesn't. Obviously, December was the top of Bitcoin market back in 2017. You whippersnappers probably don't care about that, but 2017 is really when crypto started, if you want my opinion. It's when we all knew it was going to last forever, or at least those of us that knew. Red September regulatory drag. So in Bitcoin's early years, its price was scattered, not widely tracked. The asset breached $1,000 in 2013, drawing mainstream media attention. That same year in 2013, saw the launch of CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko in 2014. That's right, guys. I was in crypto before we even had CoinMarketCap. Remember that when you're listening to these guys. A lot of people have takes on Bitcoin. I've been pretty dead on, especially this cycle. The last cycle, my expectations were a little too high, but this one we've nailed it. I said my personal idea is about $125,000 for the top. Now, if I'm wrong on that, and we end up being in a permanent bull run, whatever, we hit 120K, and we almost hit 125K. So there's CoinGecko. This would be the month of September. When is this? I guess this is when we had China. This is 2017 when they banned ICOs in South Korea's prohibition. But there is the legend of CoinMarketCap when they basically started the bear market on accident by removing all of South Korean exchanges once this hit. So you would see that the market after that dropped tremendously very quickly. It was like one day everybody woke up and there was like 10% of the market was gone. And people were like, the market's dropped. But the market didn't actually drop at that moment. What happened was they just removed the exchange numbers from South Korea. And that was terrible because everybody thought that it had gone down. And so what did that make everybody do? It went from like 930 billion, I think, all the way down to below 800 in the 700s, just as there was fake news. Speaking of fake news, a September 5th media report that year claimed Goldman Sachs was abandoning its crypto desk plans. The bank later dismissed the story as fake news. They've been manipulating this since 2017 for sure. I don't think very much before that. In September 2019, there was another big blow with the launch of backed Bitcoin futures. That did not go well. It was I made a lot of money shorting this crypto face, which Market Cipher is our trading indicator of choice. We're going to have some more. We'd like to welcome Market Cipher on as a sponsor of the channel. We also have Phemex back as a sponsor of the channel, which we'll have some stuff on in the next couple of days. So then you had the next 3 Septembers reflected the pandemic and its fallout. So there you go. Those are the next 3. In September 2021, China struck again with a ban on crypto mining. And then the next year, of course, we started the contagion. But Bitcoin's red September streak breaks after 6 straight years of September losses. Bitcoin snapped the streak in 2023. It came when a federal court appeals court, ruled that the U.S. SEC's rejection of Grayscale's bid to convert its Bitcoin trust into a spot exchange traded fund was arbitrary and capricious. And this is when we got our ETFs. If people remember, I went down to Washington, D.C., and I protested until it was approved. And that was a real story. That really happened. That really did happen. The decision forced regulators to revisit the application and revive confidence that the U.S. spot Bitcoin ETF was inevitable. And that's when we got the big pump there. Another rate cut. Here we go. Another rate cut could help Bitcoin break the red September curse. This is what we're banking on. And I think, look, guys, how are we going to see this, that the rate cut is going to be bearish? Is it that all this money's been building up, waiting for that, and then once it goes, the price goes down? Is it buy the rumor, sell the news? I don't think this is the kind of thing that's buy the rumor, sell the news, because we're talking about an actual effect on the market with rate cuts instead of rate hikes. So crypto industry brings fresh speculation from August out of China with rumors swirling. We told you that authorities could allow stablecoins pegged to the offshore yuan. Now, are they just putting it? Are they putting me on? Are they putting you on? That's what they're trying to do. So far, officials have made no confirmation. So is this now in September as we get reverse China FUD, right? We get like China hopium. And of course, Jerome Powell, this is the big thing. Investors' attention is squarely on the U.S., where the Fed appears to have pivoted. In late August, Jerome Powell delivered his final Jackson Hole speech before his term ends in May 2026. Ooh, can't wait to see who we're going to get next. Symposium is one of the most closely watched events in global economics, as it is used often by Fed chairs to hint at policy direction. In 2022, Powell warned of pain for households, and we got that. This year, he struck a dovish tone, saying the shifting balance of risks may warrant adjusting the Fed's policy stance. Another reduction is widely expected at the Open Market Committee meeting scheduled for September 16th and 17th. So there you go. There is your information on why everything is looking so bullish. But when we were looking at the other stories, you guys keep in mind, I think Ethereum is more bullish than Bitcoin right now. But let's take a look at some of the charts here. We're on the hourly chart here. And I actually have taken out a long myself. I didn't get a super great number on it, but I'm 3x. I'm only 3x. So I've got a lot of wiggle room. I've got my stop loss low enough. I don't think it will hit. And you guys can see we're down $70 in this trade right now. $70 in this trade. We'll see what happens. You look here, you look down on the chart here on Phemex, and you can see that there does seem to be considerable volume. That's the most volume we've had in the last almost 24 hours. So I hope we don't see the same where we get red. I just think we're on a breakout. I think if we look at Bitcoin here and some lines that we drew just yesterday, you can see it looks like we're heading back up to 113.6. They say is a very important level. So we've got that marked off here on our challenge. Someone came down here and taught me something today. They taught me that you can actually, I'm going to go to 13.6 and I can draw a blue line there. Look at that. A nice blue line. Helps differentiate. So let's see if I can get rid of my yellow line now. Yeah, so there you go. We're going to always be using blue lines now. I mean, hey, thanks for showing me that. Appreciate it. But anyway, the point is when you really look in here on the hourly or even the 4 hour, on the 4 hour, you can see like it looks like we're clearly on a breakout at this point. You look at market cipher and you've got the RSI not setting the turn. We had a red dot and it immediately went to a green dot. That usually is pretty bullish. Pretty bullish. You see that happen right there. Where are we looking to get to now? We're looking to get to 13.6. So once it gets there, I'll probably close my trade. Maybe it'll blow past that and then it'll turn it into support because it could. We could also see this line here. Could see this line here continue. Hopefully we won't continue to see a downtrend here. It could come and then bounce off of this line is what it could do, but I don't want to do it that way. I hope that it just goes up. Go to the daily and man, we got a large green dot on the daily and that is super bullish. Look at the last time we had it, which were back in March and April, and you can see that basically the first one was a bit of a dud. Oh, let me do one thing first. Check this. Check our StreamYard. We got 2,000 people watching right now. We want that number to go up, so share it with your friends. Thank you. What do I think of the WorldFi token launch? We were going to cover that, but I don't know where it is. I was told that it did not go well. Did it not go well? Did the Trumps make all the money? Is that what happened? Who would have thought? Okay, so we did have this, if you don't know what I'm talking about, down here, right there. It's a large green dot. These large green dots pretty consistently deliver good returns. And, you know, you could look back here and see that, yep, it was going up, it was going up, it was going up. You look over here at the RSI here, and you can see it looks like it's curving up dramatically. So when we get this curvature going up dramatically, we've got our green dot here. It looks pretty positive to me, and that's why I'm on a low leverage long. We're doing low leverage from now on, but seriously, I've said it 19 times, but we really are this time. So right now we're waiting for Bitcoin to get back up to the 13.6. If you guys want to trade, by the way, we've got links. If you want to trade, we've got links. I think on Twitter we have links too now, I think. So if you see those links, you can trade at Phemex, which is where we do our trading, but also Bydfi. If you don't want any KYC and you don't have to get a VPN, you're just a regular guy that wants to do some trading, you got to get that Bydfi, BYDFI, but make sure you click the link in the description or in the tweet. So we'll see what's happening right here. It is currently at $112,136. 112,136. So there you go. All right, let's, I would like to say on the monthly, it was pointed out to me that on the monthly, we do have a, red dot on the monthly. But the last time we had a red dot on the monthly, it fell pretty significantly. This is just sent, well, no, it's not. There we go. That's a better look at this. The line stayed there. Looks like a snake getting ready to bite somebody. Or maybe an anteater, if you look the other way. You guys work on those optical illusions for me. So anyways, the point being here is there is a little bit of worry on the monthly, but you can see on this monthly back here, we had a red, and it didn't really do too much. I mean, yeah, it dropped down a little bit. But of course, it is very important to say that we're on the monthly. So this is September. Bitcoin is not closed with this red dot now. So whenever we get some news on the Fed doing those rate cuts, I do expect the price to go up from that. I think we are really looking at a bull market here that at least is not going to stop until December. And man, I'm really feeling like, how in the world could crypto tumble the average amount it does in bear markets when we have the freaking president pushing crypto? Now there's a whole new demographic of people that have learned a little bit about what crypto is. And some of those people probably think it's too intimidating to try, but there's a large portion of those people that will actually try. So we can put on Market Cipher A as well. We'll put our Heiken-Ashi candles on. See what it's saying. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's just a definitive breakout. I think it has to be. Maybe not. Maybe we'll get something that'll push it back. But when you look at all of our little waves here, to think that we're about to have some dramatic downturn, I think is irresponsible. I don't think we are. This is on the month. So, yeah. I guess in the short term, you can look for it. If it would return to 107.2, that would be interesting. But what we want to see this red turn to green. Now we go to the 4-hour chart or the daily chart. We're bullish on the daily chart for sure. Now we're using the Heiken-Ashi, so it does change a little bit. We didn't get a big green dot. We got just an average green dot. But I tell you, it is close. We were very close with the Heiken-Ashis to getting one. We haven't had one since same time as back in March. Haven't had it since March. So there you go. So, but these levels that I'm looking at, I could continue to tell you guys, I'm looking at the 8s. I'm looking at 118,000 and 100. Obviously, the new all-time high would be anything above 124. And then, of course, I think somewhere around 128 is very possibly where we'll go to. And look at this. Draw a horizontal line. Boom. There it is. I think that's a very important number. And you can see we drew this line back from the last pump and how it picked off of these two here. So this is a legitimate line to watch. Legitimate line. We want to see it get back up there. Would be nice. And that would be 124. So you know what? Maybe where these lines cross right here, maybe in October, that's when we're going to get the big run. I think that's possible, actually. And that's possible in October we get the big run. All we need September to set the trap, right? We need September to be green because we've never had a bullish October and November, or excuse me, we've never had a bearish one anytime that Bitcoin is a green September. When it's green September, it automatically is green October and green November. Now, of course, this is history. So we can't say for 1,000% sure that that's exactly what's going to happen. But in my opinion, I think there's a really, really strong chance that would happen, that we could see green September barely. Maybe we get back up to, make a new all-time high. Maybe we get right to the all-time high, and then it levels off for a little bit, which would be great for the altcoins. But everything I see is just really bullish. And even when there's not news, I tell you, the non-news thing, it's a little sketchy to me whenever we don't have a lot of crypto news coming out on a day. It's almost like that's a day the market pauses, or that's a day the market is preparing maybe to have some big, big green candles. And when you look on this daily chart, even with our Heiken Ashis, we did have a green dot on the wave here on the bottom side. But when you look, you got the RSI going up. And if it just returned to where it would be normally, or where it's been over the last couple of months, I mean, that would be extremely, extremely bullish. It could turn back down. I mean, that's possible, but we now have the VWAP also going up, the volume weighted profile. Let's see what the old. I don't have it on here anymore. Let's see. Oh, I went back to regular candles. I did not mean to do that. Those are not regular candles. I'm sorry. We're doing the Heiken Ashi. That's what Crypto Face likes to use. So, favorites. Volume weighted average price. Volume weighted moving average. Put them both up. That is not working. I can't remember what it's called. Maybe I'm clicking the wrong one here. I cannot remember what it's called, guys. It's a volume weighted profile, right? Regardless, that's fine. We won't worry about that for now. Let's see how many people we have watching the stream today. We got 2,100 people watching. So if you guys want, we can do maybe some questions. If you guys have any questions, you can drop them in the chat. I'll make it so I can see them. We'll go back to that. Okay. I don't need any glitter on my shirt. Don't ask. All right. Check out the M2 indicator. What is the M2 indicator? I'm not even really sure about that. Bitcoin and ETH are moving up. JEETs are staying out. Yeah, I agree with old Don Crypt here. I think that's true. I think people are. I'm not scared to take the long with 3x leverage, not too much. I'm not scared to do it at this 112 number. I think we are going to see this go up. We may try to pull up the charts again and try to find a bearish attitude, maybe. Glad to see you back. Thank you. Bring your energy up. That's an interesting point here, because there's one thing I'm doing right now that means that I'm not as high energy, which is I'm sitting down. Usually when I do the show, I'm standing up, and I've got to get my stand-up desk out of storage and move it to where I'm at here. And then I think you'll see there will be a little more energy, a little more upbeat. Could finish my coffee. Okay. Oh, the BitBoy Bootcamp. Oh, man, we're way away from BitBoy Bootcamp. We got absolutely hammered over the last several months. And I don't think I'm going to be able to do it now because I'm a one-man show now. So let's see. What do you think about WorldFi, Alts stock, ALTS stock, and the background in regard to WLFi? You know what? We might could do a show on that. Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll do a show where we'll go ahead and talk about WorldFi and Alts stock. I don't know what that is actually. To be honest with you, I assume you're saying that's a ticker. Thank you for the comment. I appreciate that. What are your thoughts on Solana? My thoughts on Solana are that Solana is a good project, and it is. I think it's going to be hard for a lot of projects because some will be cyclical projects, some will be around for a long time, and some will be around basically forever. I mean, forever is forever, so it doesn't make sense. But the point is that Solana is firmly in the top 10 of altcoins, and it will not be leaving. There's far too much capital in there and interest there to keep that going. We still have Ethereum, obviously, is here to stay now because of all the institutional adoption. Good job, ETH. These are things I said back in 2018. In 2018, I said that I actually went bearish on Ethereum because I just didn't see a lot of upside at the time because people weren't really using it yet. Well, now that people are using it and the institutions have chosen it, the institutions couldn't choose some random coin that's way down the list of coin market cap to put all their faith in. The projects had to be strong enough for them to put their faith in there. And Solana passed the test. XRP, obviously. XRP Army. XRP is here forever. Binance coin, here for good, right? I think SWI is here for good, and it's a little bit out of it's not necessarily out of the top 10 when you take top 10 altcoins literally that are not like different coin listing sites are going to show different projects. Like CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko are not the exact same. You see there's different lists of coins. When you use pegged assets or derivative assets that are tied to a price of something else, like an altcoin, like an Ethereum coin in this case, then you end up with a top 10 of altcoins that is a much longer list. You got to go a little bit farther, like down to 16 or 17. Well, we can do it right now and show you exactly what I mean. Actually, let me do that. Let me show you exactly what I mean. Okay. So if you look at coin market cap, and you look at the top 10 here, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Tether. See, Tether is not a real altcoin. It's a stable coin. And it's always going to have high volume. But when you're trading Tether, you're trying to trade it against other assets because its price is always going to be at $1. So Binance Coin, Solana. But then you got USDC, you got Lido staked Ether. They have Dogecoin number 9 and Tron number 10, Cardano number 11, Chainlink, another coin that's going to be around forever. And then you got to go down here to number 19 to see SWI. But if you look, you got a wrapped version here, wrapped version here, wrapped version here, wrapped coin here. Or it could be it's basically a stable coin. As long as you see the price, it's not. This is a stable coin. This is Athena stable coin. Then you got Hyperliquid, which has just been on quite a tear, excuse me. Then you've got, I don't even know what this is. Figure HELOC. I don't know what this is. This is new to me, but it's at 101. Is it a stable coin as well? Could be. And then you get SWI, and then you get Bitcoin. Then you get your WETH wrapped Ethereum, and then you get your Bitcoin Cash. So SWI, even though it's number 19, it's technically in the top 10 of altcoins, in my opinion. And what in the world have they done here? What in the world? What has happened here? Top 200, here we go. Okay. What is this? Trending? No, we just went top. Sheesh. Man, the way that these exchange sites find ways to pump meme coins is amazing. So let's see what they have here. So here they have Dogecoin at number 8, and Tron at number 9, Cardano at number 10. You go over here to CoinGecko, and you have Dogecoin at 9, Tron at 10, and Cardano at 11. But if we're removing stable coins, you take out Tether and you take out USDC, and then you see that Chainlink and Hyperliquid, or Chainlink at least, would be in the top 10. Yeah, and Hyperliquid. And so we would be right on the door, right on number 111, or excuse me, number 11. And then you have Bitcoin Cash minded, and then Stellar, Avalanche, HBAR, man, it's up in the top 20. That's interesting. So, and you can see all of these coins and all these projects. WorldFi, obviously, a lot of people are interested in it right now. But anyway, guys, I think my point has been made that they're different. They're not the same. And people just assume that they are the same, but they are not. So which one you look at matters. But you need to have the knowledge that it matters, that there are differences. You want to check your major coins on both and see kind of where they're ranked. The market cap, I don't think the market caps are different. Let's see what it shows for Bitcoin. 2.23 trillion. $2.232, 2.30, 2.30. So yeah, there you go. So the market caps at least are the same. So it's just why do you want to put wrapped assets in your top list, CoinGecko? I don't know. To be different? Maybe that's why they do it. And they have, of course, they have this place called categories here on CoinGecko where you can pick all kinds of stuff. You can look at smart contract platforms. You can look at layer ones. Is that Redcoin? Is that even still around? That would be hard to believe. Proof of work, proof of stake, World Liberty financial portfolio. You can see, and you can also do this like we do with other ones. If you look at RWAs. RWAs have shot up, and that was based on that collateralization news about Ethereum. So you can't go wrong with Ethereum in my mind. I mean, you just can't right now. But also, Bitcoin is doing well also, and we're really just waiting for this rate cut. So definitely seems what's going to happen. It looks like ETH is ready to reach 5K by next week. I believe that's true. I believe that's true. Do you think we'll get a gaming alt season? Yeah, I think, yeah, probably. Will it be this time? I don't know. But it just depends on what happens. It really depends on what happens with Ethereum. Is Ethereum able to start really climbing and making progress, or is it going to go back down and stay below $5,000 and not even challenge it? I don't see that happening. I see when we get these rate cuts, money is going into this market, and that's pretty much it's going to happen. So I think we can all be really confident. What we're doing now is we're trying to find that spot. We're trying to find the spot where it's not going to go down again. Not forever, but we're going to get sustained upward movement. That's what we're waiting on, because I believe it is going to come and it is going to happen. So hope you guys enjoyed the show today. We covered a lot, even though there was no news. So I think that was impressive. I think that was impressive. Maybe you don't think so. But I managed a way to create news that wasn't fake news for you guys. Remember that. So, all right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Be blessed. Way out.